All right, so why geometry? It's a valid question. I think one of the best skills that you can take away from geometry is one about how to use logic and reasoning, build an argument to be able to convince, here's what I'm thinking, instead of one of the classics, here's what we're doing. You're like, why? Just because, or just because I want to, or just because I think so. So you take away from geometry, building an argument based on sound reasoning is huge in life. Whether it be try to convince your parents something, whether it be when you're older and you have to talk to your boss about what you want to do, just building an argument based on proven principles, huge, huge. All right, so let's continue on. Vertical angles. Remember, the first thing you see, vertical angles are congruent to each other, so that's always P equals P. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. So nice, stamp it twice. So if you see one, you know the other. And then we have angle 2 is congruent to angle 4. So remember, it says 5 and 7 are not vertical angles. Remember, they have to have crisscross. So you'll notice there that one, it's okay about they sharing the same vertex, but you notice that you have here, and it doesn't continue on this side. So this does not make the crisscross. You can tell that it doesn't continue on. So, all right. Two angles are vertical angles. They always, so remember, they form the two pairs of opposite rays. So let's look at it. They're really easy. So remember, crisscross equal to each other. P equals P. So nice. Stamp it twice. So if that's 50, that's 50. And remember, they make the opposite rays. So clearly 130 and 50 is 180. 130 and 50 is 180. Yeah. So remember, this is an expression. And if they're vertical angles, that's P equals P. So we can set them equal to each other. So that is a property. So that's, you don't have to prove it. It's a property of vertical angles. So remember, always move the smaller variable term first, jump the equal sign. You do it rhymes with op and sit. It's the opposite. So that's 4x. Combine the numeric terms, jump the equal sign. You always do the op and sit. So is that 80? Divide by, remember you divide. We always do the opposite. So we have x is equal to 20, 40, 60, 80. So the measure of each angle, 20 times 6, 120 is at 145. So 20 times 2 is 40, 145. So when you substitute it in, otherwise known as plug it in, you'll notice they're equal to each other. So that means that our algebra 1 is solid. All right. I'm not going to walk through this one so much, but what I did on this one to help us out is that I made some examples up to help me prove out that proof. You look at it as B, but we only have so many, like less than 10 minutes. So I don't want to get that one down too much because it'll take too much time. This one's good. So you have 90 and 45. So remember, try to identify straight lines and use that. So if we have this guy, we know that the missing piece, so we subtract from 180. So we have 90, 45. So remember, 5 gets us to 40. 40 gets, so this is 45. Otherwise, 45 is 90, plus 90 is 180. This is, again, another straight line here. 180 minus 135. 5 gets me there to 40. 45. And this is this is 45. That's 135. We can get this another color. So 180 minus 45. 5 gets me there to 50. So this guy is 135. And then that's 45. All right. Whacked it. Stacked it. Is that everything? All right, guys, hopefully that's enough kind of walking you through those. Remember, geometry basics, identify the angles. It's going to tell you the formula to use. Linear pair, add them up to 180. Complementary two angles add up to 90. Vertical angles are always congruent to each other. Make sure you know how to name an angle, whether it be by the vertex, vertex with endpoints, vertex with reverse endpoints, a numeric term in the interior. Make sure you know your notations, whether it be a congruent sign for the segment or for the angle measure. Make sure you know the notation for segment, ray, and line. Just the more you get to know that vocab, the better off you're going to be long term. We're going to use this vocab all year long. This is Benji signing off.